everybody, welcome to SOULar Lioness Elite. I'm SOULar Lioness, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Now, as you can see by the title of this video, the time has finally come, y'all. This is officially part 2 to my video entitled Aaliyah's Legacy in 2021. Is it gatekeeping or sabotage? This is part 2 to the video that I released back in January on our beloved Aaliyah's birthday. And now, as some of you may or may not know, if you've been having conversations with me down in the comment section back on my part 1, or if you've been having conversations with me even over on the homie Tony Turner's YouTube channel, then you may know that this part 2 is here, where I said that I will be reenacting a reading that I did back in 2019, where I touch on some of these things. But before I get into that, I just want to say, if you're new, welcome to my channel. And I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you came. And yo, let me just tell you this. That video, my Aaliyah's Legacy video, skyrocketed in views out of nowhere. It has over 3,500 views. And my subscribers shot up too. I officially, as of right now, when I'm recording this video, it is April 27th, 2021, 5:21 p.m. As of right now, I have 193 subscribers. I'm 7 away from 200 subscribers. I just want to say, everybody who subscribed to my channel, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. I like to talk to you guys. And I'm happy that, you enjoy my content enough to want to see more from me. So I really appreciate that. And also, I just want to say, rise in power to DMX. As we all know, he passed away on April 9th after having a heart attack and being in a hospital, and we were all praying and hoping that he would pull through. And I was literally Googling him every single day, trying to see his status updates, and with each article that came out, it was just not looking good. And I was just like, nah, man, come on now. But may he rise in power. I know that he's going to be thrilled to see Aaliyah. She's waiting for him probably. They got so much catching up to do over these 20 years. He's at peace finally, and I just wanted to add that in there. So, DMX, may you rest in peace. May you rise in power. May you fly free. And just know that you are loved by everybody down here. So without further ado, let's get into the reenactment. Okay, so here's a quick disclaimer before I start. I know that a lot of folks who came flocking to my channel came here for my Aaliyah video, but here's something that I have to interject, because I realized that I have a particular spiritual path and certain beliefs and practices and systems that may or may not intersect with being an Aaliyah fan or stan. Okay? All right. So I'm just here to say, if you don't believe in speaking with spirits, or if you don't believe in tarot cards and oracle cards and divination and throwing bones and all those types of things, then this video and this channel just may not be for you, okay? But if you are into this and you're here for the queen, the Liyah, then I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. So welcome, get comfortable, grab your snacks, whatever. I don't want to take too long, but I'm just going off of, I'm going by feel right now, okay? So let's just get into this. I'm going to explain what this reenactment is all about. Now, what you may or may not know about me is I am a diviner. I keep track, for the most part, a written record of my divinations for my own references and things, because if you are somebody who does divinations and you're channeling and things like that, you may or may not remember every single thing that you say. So for me, as I practice and pull on people I know, friends, family, myself, and I get better and better at it, even when I have a client here or there, I write it down in a notebook. But this right here is one of my notebooks. I think this is my very first notebook when I first started keeping a written record of my divinations. So this is already filled up. This is already filled up, okay? Already filled up. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, reenactment meaning I am not doing an actual reading right here, right now. I am simply going through my little written record right here in my notebook back to the day where I did the reading, and I'm going to read it out to you and show you the cards and explain to you, and then we can talk from there. And I can also reflect on this reading. You can reflect on the reading. We can see what's come to pass, what hasn't, etc., etc., okay? So this is just me. These cards right here are all the cards that I pulled that day. And this is from my other deck. And it'll be edited around, so you don't have to be sitting here waiting for me to lay cards out. So don't even worry about that. I'm going to lay out each card. I'm going to read these questions. And we're just going to go from there. That's my reenactment. Because honestly, at first, I was hesitant about sharing this reading, because even though I keep track of written record of my readings, I am not somebody who does celebrity readings. I don't do that. That's not my niche. That's not my, well, niche, I should say. Niche. It's not my niche. That's not my lane. It's not what I do. However, I do pull quietly and privately and write it down in my notebook as practice, you know, with all due respect, not on some messy stuff. But with Aaliyah, it's different. So I felt moved to share this reading with you guys so we can have further conversation as it ties into the current state of her legacy and the danger that it is in. Okay? And now let's get into this reenactment right here, right now. That's enough talking. Thank you for joining me, and let's just begin. So, written down right here in my notebook, if you can excuse my handwriting, I did this reading October 29th, 2019. And it was at 9:54 p.m. that I started, right? Y'all, I was doing the most. Tell me why I did not finish until was it 12:59 a.m. I will never do that to myself again. Excuse me. I will never ever do that to myself again. I don't think anybody is even supposed to be doing a reading that long, but listen, I did the most because I spoke and I channeled and I spoke to Aaliyah, like, you know, and that's not something that's easy to say. I feel embarrassed to say, because honestly, part of me may or may not still be having that imposter syndrome type thing. You know, oh, you didn't talk to Aaliyah, or everybody's walking around acting like they talk to spirits. And I have to learn, like, my current life lesson is to release all that, because those outer words and opinions and things ain't got shit to do with me, all right? They ain't got shit to do with me. I'm over here, minding my business. I'm in my lane. So, mind you, the deck I used at that time was the traditional Rider-Waite deck. What I have right here is the Melanated Classic Tarot, but, you know, that's the only difference. I didn't have this deck back when I did it, but it's the exact same deck. It's just that everybody is black, and, you know, I'd rather use my melanated deck, you know what I'm saying? So it's all right. First question. Why won't Barry Hankerson release your music? And I pulled 4 cards. I got the World, the 9 of Pentacles, and I heard It's all a money game. And I heard, who is the highest bidder? It goes to the highest bidder. Another note about me, how I write things down in my notebook, everything moves so fast because like you gotta write it down and you're channeling, messages coming to you. If I hear something verbatim, I write it down in quotation marks, like someone saying something, and I write that down in quotes. And also, I have things coded with symbols. Like I have a little symbol that represents first impressions when it's interpreting, when I'm interpreting, and things like that. It's a whole system I have set up here. But like I said, I don't want to be long-winded. I'm going to read it to you exactly as it's written in this book. It's 2021. This is from 2019. I'm not going to add anything, and I'm not going to take anything away, okay? Keep it real honest and simple. So after I first pulled these two cards, I heard it's all a money game, and who is the highest bidder? It goes to the highest bidder, right? Then I pulled the Devil card and the, wow, this really is close up. The Four of Pentacles. Barry is the devil. Okay, I'm reading my notebook now. Barry is the devil. The music industry is also the devil. He's also a slave to his own vices and troubles. He's just sitting back and watching the world beg for Aaliyah's work. He's watching the world continue to spin. He's just letting time pass. He's trying to play small and silent, disappear from sight. And then as I was reading, as I was pulling these cards, I wrote, something about background is trying to come up. He still owes people, and because of this, he's hiding, but also dragging out fans' desire for new material and old material. So that was that. My next question was, is Barry Hankerson trying to revive Blackground Records? And I got 4 cards. So I got the Fool, the Eight of Swords, and what I wrote in my notebook was, he could, but he's being stubborn about his business and finances, particularly paying people he owes. He's too stuck in his ways, which is the past. He's literally being a fool and ignoring his chances to start fresh and evolve with this technology and the ever-changing music industry and how music is distributed. And I also got 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands. And I said, his finances are too fucked up. He feels like that ship has sailed. It's almost like he's afraid, frozen in place. He's bullshitting around. The answer is no. Like as far as background. Yes, he owes money, but if he would only walk the straight and narrow, he might even come out on top, but no. So that's what I wrote. Now, excuse me, and pardon me if I kind of stumble and stutter. When I'm channeling, it's so hard. Imagine trying to read cards, right? And you're writing it down. So it's the interpretation is coming through your mind and coming through you and coming through the pen, and then you start writing real fast. And my handwriting is already kind of crazy. So, my handwriting is already crazy. So I'm trying to understand my own handwriting. The next question I asked, is there, because I asked, is there a new Aaliyah album coming out in 2020 or 2021? 4 cards. I got the Emperor, the 4 of Pentacles, and what I wrote was, I feel like it's a no. He's too busy clinging to the rights and masters or whatever because he feels like Aaliyah's music is all he got worth anything, quote unquote, for himself, more money hungry games. And then I also got the Page of Wands and the Star. I feel like he's being stubborn and unmoving, and all he's worried about is money. And then I heard dollar bills, y'all. Like, I heard that. Like, I heard dollar bills, y'all. Okay? He doesn't want anybody touching her music. He's keeping the younger generations from knowing who she is. He's literally taken away from her legacy single-handedly, but only for the grace of the world. Her fans, people who knew her, etc., she's not forgotten. Now, let me read the cards down in columns. Okay, so after that question, when I asked, is there a new album coming out? I wrote, now let me read the cards down in columns. So this is, I guess you call it the magic square. We read it across, right? But you also read them downward. So I laid them all out and I read the columns downward, and then I wrote, I don't know if you can see that, an interpretation down. Very sloppy, I know. Bear with me. So reading downward, we got the world, the fool, and the emperor. And I said, acting oblivious, absent from the public eye. For the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles, I put money troubles, preoccupied with money, and stubborn. The Devil, the Two of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands, I wrote, still owes people on the label, ulterior motive, selfish, playing keep away. And then we have Four of Cups, Three of Wands, and the Star. I have it like this for the camera. I don't really overlap the cards. It's just so I can fit them into the frame. So anyway, the Four of Cups, Three of Wands, and the Star. He still thinks about Aaliyah a lot. And then I said, I don't know about a new album. I don't know. I said, I don't know about a new album. It felt like a no. I was feeling like a no. It felt like a no. So after that, I wrote, and I was asking Aaliyah, I asked her, I said, does Barry Hankerson plan on ever turning your music loose and making it available on streaming platforms? I'm hearing he wants to control everything. So with the streaming platforms, it would have to be through Blackground to be made available. But Blackground owes too many people. He wants money to come directly to him, so he selectively lets Aaliyah's music be licensed out to other entities. Now, to pull cards. So basically, when I asked that question, that's what I channeled and I wrote that down to my notebook. And so now when I actually pull cards, this is what I got. I had got the Nine of Wands, the Moon, Judgment, and the Queen of Pentacles. On guard, too far gone in his head, his emotions. He doesn't trust anything or anyone, almost like some sick kind of paranoia on top of being money hungry. And so I wrote this and then I crossed it off. I said, I don't know who the Queen of Pentacles is though. Like, as I try to work it out I try to work it out on the paper, on the page. You can see me trying to work it out on the page. I said, is it a woman coming after him for money? At first I thought it was Aaliyah. And I was like, no, it can't be Aaliyah. Is it a woman coming after him for money? Who is he worried about? Someone close to him being in his pockets. Is it an ex-wife? Is it an ex-girlfriend? Now, that was me channeling, right? Come to find out, right? At this point, I've done some research. Like in 2020, I've done research. And in 2022. Come to find out, this apparently is an ex-girlfriend of Barry Hankerson's. Her name is, it's spelled Kyme. I don't know if it's Kim. I don't know if it's Kyme. I don't know if it's Kimmy. I don't like mispronouncing people's names, but you can actually Google her. Kyme. Dang. So Kimmy or Kim, Kyme Dang. I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name. So she is the one who popped up in this reading, but I didn't know that at the time back in 2019. A little bit about her. She was somebody who dated Barry Hankerson, and he done some horrible things to her. And I think I might have mentioned this in passing in my previous video. I don't remember now. But basically, he slandered her name and what's it called? Defamation of character. There you go. Another lawsuit filed in Los Angeles court in 2007 by Hankerson's former girlfriend, Kaimi Dang, contained the most explosive allegations. It was contested bitterly. In fact, when Complex called Neil Sunken, Dang's attorney, for comment, he requested multiple forms of identification. It is not above Barry Hankerson to have someone call me impersonating a reporter, he said. Dang is a Calabasas, California hairdresser who began dating Hankerson shortly after Aaliyah's death. The two were together for 5 years and even lived together for a time. But after Dang ended their relationship in the late 2006, Hankerson tried to destroy her life, she says. He did defamation of character on her. He was spreading to everybody that she had like AIDS or some type of disease and lying on her and threatening her and sending emails and messages and all types of stuff. And basically, long story short, all those threatening emails and messages and things he was doing was traced back to his IP address. And also, what he did was, when she broke away from him, she had a job at like a hair salon or something like that. His dusty, trifling ass sat there and bought the company. He bought that company, and now that he owned it, he fired her. He bought the company just to fire her. Yes, he did. And honestly, I will have the documentation proof in my description, okay? Um, and in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Please take a look at that. Please take a look because Kaimi Dang was awarded a judgment against him for this, and apparently he also tried to blow her car up. Allegedly, that part wasn't proven. Like making her car blow up and stuff like that. That wasn't he wasn't charged for that because apparently I don't think there was enough evidence for this. But everything else, his ass got a judgment against him. Um, she got like an 8 point something million judgment against him for that harassment and that false spreading of information, talking about she had AIDS and then buying a company that she worked at to fire her. And yes, and apparently this judgment was basically going to take everything of his, right? So Barry, being worried about having all his things taken from him, he put Blackground Records, the record label, down as the guarantor, um, the one who's going to pay the debt. Because we have an LLC or we have a corporation, we have a business that becomes an entity of itself, separate from Barry Hankerson. So Barry Hankerson is an entity. He's an individual. He's a person. But Blackground Records is on paper an entity and a person. So he had it set up where Blackground would have to be the one to pay her. And also, to date, from the articles I read, he still hasn't paid her. And he had a judgment against her, a judgment against him. He still hasn't paid her to this day. And I think that's part of why, ever since Blackground went bankrupt, that could tie into why he acting like he doesn't want to bring it back up and back out because Blackground owes money. He owes money via Blackground Records. And so if he was to bring Blackground Records out of bankruptcy and make it, I guess, a standing, a company in good standing again, or whatever, how that goes. I'm not a legal expert, I'm not a finance expert or whatever, but everybody's coming for that ass for that money. So he probably figured, I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's bankrupt, it doesn't exist, it's defunct, leave it like that. And so I think that's his way of trying to skate off from having to pay this woman, Kaimi Dang. Yes. And for the next question, I wrote, what about Tim and Missy? What about Tim and Missy? Will they release some music of yours a new project. So for that, I got Nine of Cups, Temperance, the Hermit, and the Strength card. And I put notes down on how I feel too, because when you pull cards, when you're channeling someone or channeling spirit, whether it's an actual person or just spirit overall or ancestor spirit guides, the sensations, you have to take note of everything. So what I wrote was, I felt nothing but pure, absolute warmth when when these cards came up, and uplifted, happy feeling. So that's what I felt. Now for the answer to this, what about Tim and Missy? Will they release some music of yours, a new project? I wrote, one day they might. That was the answer. One day they might. But it has to be under the right circumstances. Otherwise, they would love to be involved in another project. Excuse me, y'all. If you hear babies yelling in the background, those are my babies. I'm downstairs in my art space, my little art studio slash divination space. This is where it's set up, and they're above me being babies and having fun. So if you hear them, those are my little boys, okay? So where was I? Okay, I feel like the Hermit is Tim for some reason, and the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups and Missy. So then I put money, guilt, fear, Barry. He won't let her music go. Next question. So the next question I asked her, how do you feel about your music not being available on streaming platforms, right? And I instantly I got the Ten of Swords. I got the Seven of Swords. The Ten of Swords, the Seven of Swords. I have the Wheel of Fortune. And I got the Seven of Cups. And this is what I wrote. This is what the message I wrote channel. Hurt, betrayed, like everything she worked for is almost going to waste. I put almost in parentheses. Like everything she worked for is almost going to waste. She feels robbed and annoyed at the fact that people have to struggle to find her music, quote unquote, by chance, if at all, because YouTube ain't it. And also at the time that I was doing the reading, I had my TV on and it was on mute. So I wrote this down too. I look up at the screen and guess what song and video was playing? The one I gave my heart to. So yes, I took note of that too. Because to me, that represents the one I gave my heart to, like her craft and her art. And that was significant to me in that moment as I was speaking with her and getting these answers to these questions. So anyway, back to my notes. She put her trust in Barry, being her uncle, and he let her down big time. Absolute betrayal. She doesn't like being hard to find as far as her craft. She has a treasure trove of music that the world can't even easily access. She worked her whole life for this, and this is how she's repaid. It's not fair. And that's exactly how that came about. Okay? So, yeah, that's how that came out. And the next question, would your music finally be available on streaming platforms, etc., once Barry DIES? Like, is that what it takes? Because he's so damn stubborn? Like, honestly, y'all, DIES, we already know what that spells. I don't want to get flagged or whatever. Would I get flagged? It's not like I'm monetized. Like it. Would your music finally be available on streaming platforms, etc., once Barry dies? Dies. Dies, okay? Like, is that what it takes because he's so damn stubborn? I was really irritated when I asked this question. I remember that. And so these are the cards I got. I got the Emperor. And my first impression, I wrote in the parentheses next to it, I put Tyrant. Six of Wands, the Moon, and the Page of Wands. Now, there's no telling how much time passed at this point. And what I wrote was, I don't get it. So I drew 4 more cards. I want to say no or yes with difficulty. And those cards that I pulled were the Nine of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Star. One thing you need to understand is divination takes a whole lot of energy. And yes, I started slipping at one point. I did. I felt myself slipping. Or I felt myself getting frustrated and hitting walls and not really taking in or being able to receive the message. So I pulled 4 more cards. And this is what I wrote. This is what I got from her. Either he's going to have a clause or some contracts or someone, maybe Jomo Hankerson, his son, take over for him and maintain the position of not releasing her music anywhere. But maybe I think the music will somehow end up being released after a long battle for it. And I put battle in parentheses. I put battle in quotation marks. Okay? So I'm going to say it again. Either he's going to have a clause, I'm talking about Barry, some contracts or someone, maybe Jomo Hankerson, take over for him and maintain a position of not releasing her music anywhere. But maybe I think the music will somehow end up being released after a long battle for it. There will have to be a severing of that old, miserly, stuck, paranoid mindset. It will hopefully die with Barry. Then the world can finally freely enjoy your music. And that was it as far as the heavy questions, right? So then that was it. Like, I decided to start asking some lighter questions. So the lighter question I asked was, I asked her, how do you feel about your Aaliyah and Mac, Aaliyah for Mac collection that we fans fought for years for? And I got the Magician, I got the Devil, I got the Two of Cups, and I got the Ace of Pentacles. And this is what I got out of that. It was a wonderful, beautiful idea, and she appreciates the fans' dedication and persistence in saying that she deserves her own Mac collection. And then I heard intuitively, what's it called, clairaudiently, great idea, poorly executed. So acknowledging the pros and cons, some people loved it, some people didn't, and that's fine. It put money in her family's pocket and gives access to a collector's item, something tangible, finally. So the next question I asked, how do you feel about your perfume? And I got 5 of Wands, the High Priestess, Judgment, and the 8 of Pentacles. And so I was like, wasn't really feeling it. Like I said, I started getting foggy at this point. She can see a lot went into the making of the product, but was money the motive? And then I said, I can't read these cards. Please clarify. Because, it's been hours. Hours has passed since I was reading this. So I started getting foggy. And I said, please clarify. And when I asked to clarify, I ended up getting the Emperor and 5 of Pentacles. The main inspiration behind that particular project is the fact that Aaliyah's brother and mother can't and couldn't benefit or touch any money made from her music. Barry turned his back on the family, not really feeling it because it's like this product was forced because music wasn't an option. So honestly, I'm not even gonna hold you. When I was getting these messages, I was kind of trying to shut it out like, no, it can't be it. No, it can't be it. But honestly, listen, you just don't know. You don't know. You don't know what goes on. I'm not gonna say on my own one way or the other how people are motivated by, but to me, I was like, money's the motive, really? Like as far as the closer family members, like her mother, her brother, I'm like, I don't know. Part of me is hoping I read those cards wrong. Part of me is hoping I read those cards wrong back in 2019. Happy family. Putting up a front and what little they show to the public eye. And in parentheses, I put Rashad and Diane. So Barry's Emperor. And then I said also, Aaliyah's father being absent comes to mind. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Go back. I had a whole card missing. It was the Emperor, the Five of Cups. Sorry. The Emperor, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. Sorry. My handwriting's so sloppy. So everything I just said is supposed to be the Emperor, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. There you go. So the Five of Cups is Rashad. That's what I wrote. Next, I asked, how do you feel about your wax figure from Madame Tussauds? Tussauds? Tussauds. I don't know how to say that name. I don't. So I got the Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles, the World, and Seven of Swords. Aaliyah appreciates it a lot, but still can't help but feel like without the real proper presence of her music, there will be a disconnect from the world at large. The fans are finally receiving what they wanted for so long. And so after that, I wrote, I'm getting foggy now. I can't read these cards. It's hard. Let me switch decks. So after that, I just gave up on tarot. So at this point, it was like midnight. Midnight. It had to have been. Because, yeah, it was after midnight. Because I only have a few more questions to go. And then I ended it. So I switched to my Tao Oracle. I put my tarot away and switched to my Tao Oracle. And I said, how do you feel about the perfume that was released? And I got difficulty in the beginning, holding together, duration. These cards are wide. I'm gonna overlap it like this so you can see it. And the clinging. She wasn't feeling it at first, but as the project progressed, the idea of it grew on her. Something about Rashad and Diane wanting to make this come into fruition, more so Rashad than Diane. That's what I felt at that moment. That's what I got. That's what I wrote. Then I asked, how do you feel about your wax figure? And I got the turning point and before completion. It took a lot behind the scenes to even get this project up and running. It had to be absolutely perfect. Diane wasn't sure if she wanted to agree on this or not at first. It took some convincing. So honestly, I can tell you guys, it really looks like Diane be the one that's kind of like, oh, I don't know. And honestly, even though I'll just say this, even though I said I wasn't going to add or take away anything from the reading, I'm really not. I'm just going to interject this one little thought. From the things I've seen in this reading and looking back on it as I'm reenacting it for you guys, it really looks like Diane is very hush-hush and hesitant about coming out about anything. You know, she still has that pain inside of her. Like, it's her baby girl, it's her daughter. It's gone, and we don't know how people mourn. We don't know how people grieve. Everybody grieves differently. And I also want to say, I was doing the most in my previous video, part 1. Like, I was just so fiery and full of passion. I stand by what I said. I do. However, I can also see the other side of it. I have to be fair. We are merely fans. We are stans. We love Aaliyah as the superstar. Aaliyah as the person. Aaliyah as the actress, the model, the talented beauty that just graced this earth. But she was Aaliyah Dana Haughton, my daughter, to Michael and Diane Haughton, my little sis, to Rashad, you know, my friend, my best friend. So it's like, we will never understand that pain. And I just got to interject that there. Okay, like I said, I stand by what I said, but that was back in January, and I've felt myself. I felt myself soften up since then. And one way that helped me soften up was by watching old videos. And I even came across Rashad's song, if y'all remember, the song that he made for Aaliyah some years ago off the anniversary of her passing. I don't know if it was for her birthday or for her passing, but this song, One in a Billion, he's a wonderful singer. I had that song on repeat one day. Someone just told me to listen to it, and I was riding in my Uber to somewhere, and I was just sitting there listening to, like, I remember when the song came out. I remember somebody had made a fan-made music video to go with it, and I just felt myself soften up. Like, damn, I really did the most in that video. That's his little sister. Like, there's no telling. Like, they're doing their best. I have to understand that there are some questionable things, though. That's a given. There are some questionable things still, like, you know, blocking people on social media. That, you know, that's still a little iffy to me. But, you know, I had to basically calm myself down. Like, yo, SOULar, listen, it's okay, it's all right. So I just want to throw that in there. So how I see that Diane isn't very flexible with things, and honestly, you can even tell that somewhat even when Aaliyah was here, because you know how Aaliyah would always joke, like, you know how we always got to run things by Diane, because you know Diane ain't going for that, and Diane ain't going for this, and you know, make sure it's cool with Diane, even though that was their loving mother-daughter relationship. There's some seriousness in there. You know how there's always truth in the joke. Yeah, so even though Aaliyah was laughing and, you know, joking and playing and letting it be known as how things go with her mom, that's probably how her mom really was. Like, listen, it gotta be like this, it gotta be like that. I approve of this, I don't approve of that. And that carries on to this very day. And I feel like with that is the pain of her not being here, how she lost her baby girl, how could this possibly have happened. So I feel like that characteristic that was in her through Aaliyah's career just possibly could have been amplified even after all these years of her being gone. And that's just my thought. But let's just get back to this reading, wrapping it up. So it was the turning point before completion. And the last 2 cards were progress and the taming power of the small. So going back to answering the question, how do you feel about your wax figure? Overall satisfied and loves the figure, but there was like this lingering energy of still concerned about the music though. And after that, that was the end. And I said, thank you, Aaliyah, for your time. I appreciate you. I love you. And I was like, one more thing. I asked her a question, a private question, you know, doesn't pertain to her or anything. I won't add that in here. But I basically said, thank you. I love you. I miss you. Thank you for your time. And I released the energy. I released her. And she went. And so it was like, whew, my end time was 12:59 a.m. back in October 2019. And I'm tired just from reenacting it. So you can just imagine how I felt after the actual reading, okay? Ooh, it's crazy. So, yeah. And that was that on that. So now that I've finished the reenactment of my reading, this is the first time I ever did something like that. It was an idea that came to me in light of the situation from my first video. I was like, damn, I wonder if I should really let this out because this is part of the discussion. Oh, I was hesitant for a while, but then I finally decided to do it, to just let that out. It was fine. So I just put these back in the back or whatever. You know, shuffle them back up, put them back where they were. And so let's reflect now. Oh, I almost forgot. before I started writing my readings down in notebooks and keeping record of them, I actually did a reading before on Barry Hankerson. So no, I wasn't talking to Aaliyah then. Like, I actually called on her and asked for permission and everything, and that's what this reenactment was. But some years even before then, I forgot what year was it, 2018 or 2017? I really don't remember. 2016. Wait, 2016. Sorry. 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017. Somewhere between, I want to say 2016 and 2018. Because 2015 to 2018. Somewhere in between there, right? I did a reading on Barry Hankerson. And I took pictures of the cards thinking I was going to remember. I wasn't even writing down the questions I was asking. All I did was take a picture of the card that I got. But I do remember some of it. I was asking the same questions back then too, like, oh, is Barry Hankerson gonna let her music out, and what's the energy around him? And it was the same even then. It was like he was just gonna sit there. He's playing games. He's not trying to let the music out, Aaliyah's music go. He's just in his way. Like, I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but he just was not and is not trying to let her music go. Now, tying this into the state of her legacy, right? As you may or may not know, I'm pretty sure most of us know by now, the Aaliyah fans, and if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you. Autumn, one Miss Autumn Carini. Carini? What's that girl name? Cabrini. No, wait. Oh, the drama. Hold on, what's that girl name? Yeah, something like that. Autumn, Miss Autumn, newest artist up under Barry Hankerson. You know. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So, the so-called marketing strategy, because that's what I'm going to call it, a marketing strategy, is that she is a major Aaliyah fan and a stan, and she loves her. And so can you get up and get out of the bed? Cause I wanna see you, and I've been wondering, can I come over? Come over. Come over. Come over. Can I come over? Come over. Come over. Girl, if you are an Aaliyah fan or stan like you claim, girl, you would not be signed to no goddamn Barry Hankerson. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now. You would not be signed to no goddamn dusty, old, decrepit, crusty ass Barry Hankerson. Okay, I gotta go there. Okay, yeah, I softened up as far as Rashad and Diane a little bit, but Barry, you getting all the smoke. Okay, you went. I'm not softening up on him at all. Okay, Miss Autumn, you're happy. Listen, this is number one. I know we all feel the way about our queen, all right? We ain't nobody replacing her, ain't nobody gonna be above her, none of that, right? But I don't want to throw shade at Autumn, okay? I don't know how old she is, but she's a musician. Maybe that's her dream, whatever. I don't know nothing about her, but I hope she gets a career for herself. You know, let's not take that away from her. But this ain't the way to do it. She needs to run away. I remember all of us. It was me, it was Tony, it was y'all, it was all of us. And we were all, I saw all those comments, all of us in the comment section on Instagram, on that girl's page, when she posted a picture of her and Barry and all the rest of the team, whoever they are, we were telling her to run away. Run the fuck away. Run. Like, run. Don't walk. Run. Don't think. Don't run. Run. Run for your life. Don't ponder. Don't be like, well, what are you talking about, guys? Run. But guess what? I don't think she's going to listen. She don't hear us. And that's why I doubt she's a real Aaliyah fan. Because everybody knows the story. Everybody knows the story about what happened to Aaliyah and her music. Oh, Marini. Oops. I said Cabrini. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying to be smart. Only reason why I remember Autumn is because it starts with an A, like Aaliyah or whatever. But her name is Autumn Marini. Okay, this is her right here. This is her. Wait, is it gonna focus? Is it gonna focus? Very pretty girl. You know, she wants a career. She wants to be a musician. She wants to be a singer and everything, singer, dancer. That's fine. But she deserves a fair chance, I would say. She definitely deserves a fair chance. I see she has a SoundCloud and that's fine, but girl, do you not understand? Do you not understand? I don't think she do. And it's like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. This is only God. I think not. God will not throw you to the devil. Girl, I see Tony Turner. I see Aaliyah Archives. Favorite things by Aziz. Aaliyah Dipped in Honey. Aaliyah Always. Me. Everybody warning her. But guess what, though? This is so funny. All the verified accounts, all the, stars and people in the industry are out here putting Jazzy Faye, putting flames, and somebody else. Who's this? Jalil Cousins. I don't know who that is. He putting, prayer hands and listen. Everybody named Mom was up and down this girl's post trying to warn her to run for her life. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Everybody up here trying to warn her, and I mean everybody. I feel bad for her. I do. That's crazy. Like, I mean, so 2020 came and went. There was no album. And now it's 2021, and I don't know if there's going to be an album. That was one of the questions I asked her. Is there going to be an album? And intuitively felt like a no. I just do, because it's like he's on to, Barry seems to be on to bigger and better things. Bigger and better things. Like, it's ridiculous. Mm-mm-mm. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. This video has literally gone on long enough. So if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my reenactment, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's take it to the comment section. Let's have a discussion. Tell me your thoughts, your opinions on what I said. You can share your thoughts and opinions on things that I didn't mention. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video.